Let's begin with what happened in India today. The western state of Maharashtra has fallen silent today as one of its tallest leaders has died in a plane crash. And with the passing of Ajit Dada Pawar, Maharashtra is now staring at a major shift in its political landscape. The aircraft, a Learjet 45, took off from Mumbai in the morning and was headed to Baramati, Ajit Pawar's constituency since 1991. Besides Pawar, there were two other passengers along with a crew member and the pilot. The plane was being flown by Captain Shambhavi Pathak. According to flight radar, the aircraft was clear for landing and was attempting a second approach to Baramati when it crashed. Eyewitnesses say rescue efforts began after the crash, but multiple explosions in quick succession left no chance of survival. A deeper look at Ajit Pawar's political journey reflects how he grew to become one of the most important factors in Maharashtra's politics. Remember, he had started his political career back in 1991, and he's somebody who's considered as one of the most important leaders in modern-day Maharashtrian politics. His loss today, of course, not just leaves a shock and helplessness among the people of Maharashtra. Now, of course, also leads to the question of what will happen next. Remember, in 1991, he won the Lok Sabha election from Baramati. In the same year, he won the by-election also, and he retained his seat for 8 consecutive terms. Then in 2023, he broke ranks from his uncle Sharad Pawar's then NCP. And of course, he led the rebellion and legally retained the party name as well as symbol. That by far is his political journey. Remember, he eventually he joined the Eknath Shinde-led government. In 2024, he won the assembly polls from Baramati as well. He led the NCP to win 41 seats as part of the now Mahayuti alliance that is currently governing the state of Maharashtra. In 2024, he secured his final term as the Deputy CM under Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis. That has been a long, more than 3-decade political tryst that Ajit Pawar has had. But now, looking at the top contenders, will Sunetra Pawar, his wife, also fondly called the Pawar Bahu, be at the helm of affairs? She's a Rajya Sabha member. She had contested from Baramati against Ajit Pawar's sister and her sister-in-law, Supriya Sule. She had lost that battle by over 1.5 lakh votes. A lot of speculation about whether Sunetra Pawar will now take over. Another key Pawar player is Parth Pawar, the elder son of Ajit Pawar. He had contested the Lok Sabha seat as well from Mawal Lok Sabha seat. But he's had a mixed electoral track record. So we'll have to wait and watch whether he has that kind of a connect with voters in Baramati or not. Apart from that, senior leaders like Praful Patel of the NCP as well as OBC strongman Chhagan Bhujbal, they are also being speculated as the front runners to lead the party. What happens next, of course, we'll have to wait and watch. And I ask these questions tonight as Maharashtra plunges into an uncertainty which will have implications well beyond its borders. Let's try and get a perspective on this. I'm joined by Tushar Gupta. He's a senior editor at Swaraj magazine. He joins us from New Delhi. Tushar, good evening. Can I start by asking you, this is a man who, while living, had reshaped Maharashtrian politics. And now with his death, of course, questions are rising as to who will lead the NCP faction of Ajit Pawar. Also, of course, questions being risen on whether the BJP would be concerned, considering the fact that they might have the numbers, but NCP was considered as the hedge in case of any defections or crossovers.
Look, what has happened today is completely unprecedented and unexpected. I don't think any party can prepare for something like this, or the NCP was prepared for something like this. Yes, there were talks of the NCP Ajit Pawar faction and the NCP Sharad Pawar faction coming together. And they did come together in the local polls that were recently concluded. But now, with the demise of Ajit Pawar, the untimely demise of Ajit Pawar, everyone is wondering what's really next for the party. Let's remember they might not command a lot of strength in the parliament, but they have 40 odd MLAs in the assembly. So who are those 40 odd MLAs now looking to? To begin with, you have Sunetra Pawar, the wife of Mr. Ajit Pawar. Is she going to be enough to lead those 40 MLAs? Is she going to be the new deputy chief minister? That can only be speculated at this point. Then you obviously have the question of Praful Patel, who may not be rooted to the ground that well, but is also one of the contenders to lead this faction of the NCP. And then, of course, you have Mr. Bhajan, another leader who's being speculated might form a splinter group of MLAs and align with the BJP. So all possibilities are on the table. But right now, we also have to look at the possibility of what the MLAs would really want. They are in the government. The BJP and the Shiv Sena together have enough numbers to save the government. So the question of the government stability does not really arise.
So Tushar, because you talked about what the MLAs would want will hold significance, can we also say that now what Sharad Pawar does in the next few weeks and months would hold a lot of importance, considering the fact that he would want those MLAs to come back to his faction? Yes, they had left the Sharad Pawar camp for a reason, and now they will feel a leadership vacuum with Ajit Pawar's death. But now will Sharad Pawar try and reach out to them? What he does, of course, can decide the next course of action.
So if that is the question before the MLAs, they are now looking at the Zilla Parishad elections that are just a week ahead, right? That is their only litmus test to gauge where can Sharad Pawar take the party from this point. There would be a certain sympathy vote that would gravitate towards the NCP undoubtedly. The party, the factions might align together for some specific wards during the Zilla Parishad elections. But at the end of the day, we have to understand, for all the noise, for all the hysteria around the factions of the NCP, their performance in the municipality elections was quite poor. Even in the strongholds of the NCP, their performance was very, very underwhelming. Now, if you see a repeat of that in the Zilla Parishad elections, the MLAs are also looking at their political future. What if they start to believe that Sharad Pawar is no longer the man that can lead them to a stable political future? What if they start to believe that Supriya Sule, with her limited leadership potential, is not the person who can really lead their party as Ajit Pawar would? That is the question before the MLAs. They're not only looking at their faction, they're also looking at their respective political futures, which would make a lot of them a natural choice for the BJP, and for some, a natural choice for the Shinde Sena. All in all, the bargaining power of the NCP will depend on the upcoming Zilla Parishad elections. The bargaining power of Shinde Sena, the Shiv Sena under Eknath Shinde, would depend how NCP performs. And at the end of the day, the BJP would be more than happy to accommodate as many as these 40 MLAs. But again, in 2029, they'll have a new challenge: where to accommodate these MLAs, where to accommodate the aspirants within their party. So that will be a lot of tussle, but that's a long time from here. So that is not something Fadnavis would worry about right now.
So, in conclusion, Tushar, let me also bring in Parth Pawar, somebody who is being speculated as one of the top contenders. He's the elder son of Ajit Pawar. He's also fought a Lok Sabha election. But of course, his electoral track record has been mixed. Can he be, put at the helm of affairs? Will the NCP take that risk of putting the next generation in a leadership role? Or will they not take that risk? It's too premature to talk about this right now.
Look, Ajit Pawar's shoes are too big to be filled by anyone, even his own children. He was a leader so rooted on the ground, so connected to the ground. And even today, when people were remembering him, recalling their interaction with him, all of them in unison was saying that he was the man you could reach out to, you could connect to. He was the man who listened. Now, the problem is, does his son have that same level of connect on the ground? Does his son have that same amount of confidence within the MLAs? That's the question. The BJP, to just ensure stability within this faction, may turn to Sunitra Pawar, for all we know. But at the end of the day, it's about that one face who can give the confidence to the MLAs, to the faction, and to the party at large. Because remember, when we're talking about the NCP, at the assembly level, there are two factions. But on the ground, for the Zilla Parishad elections, the municipality elections, it's one party. So Sharad Pawar needs to register a resurgence of the party. If he cannot do it, the younger son or the elder son, they do not have that big leadership potential to really fill up Ajit Pawar's shoes. It's a problem.
All right, let's wait and watch how, why these decisions are taken in the next few weeks and months, how NCP moves forward, what Sharad Pawar does, and of course, how the Maharashtra government moves forward now without one of their deputy chief ministers. I'll leave it there. Tushar Gupta, thank you very much for joining us at the moment and giving us an analysis.